The room went quiet the moment everyone heard the words. Two young twin girls, standing side by side in a crowded karate class, were being singled out by older, higher-ranked students who believed fear was enough to make anyone step back. Most people watching expected the same thing to happen now. After all, the twins were smaller, younger, and outnumbered. What nobody in that room understood yet was this: courage does not always look loud. Sometimes it stands calm, steady, and unshaken, waiting for the moment to prove itself. The twins had only been training for a year, but they treated every lesson seriously. While other students joked or rushed through drills, they practiced every movement with focus, repeating stances until their legs trembled and rehearsing strikes until their arms felt heavy. Their instructor had noticed this long ago. Skill was not just power. It was patience, discipline, and heart. That afternoon, a group of advanced students began testing the class with controlled sparring rounds. When the twins were called forward, a few of the older students smirked, whispering to each other. One of them stepped closer, speaking in a tone meant to intimidate, telling them they should sit out if they were scared. The room filled with uneasy silence. Some students looked away, expecting the twins to refuse, but the sisters simply bowed, as they had been taught. No anger, no hesitation, just quiet readiness. The sparring began. At first, the difference in size seemed obvious, but within seconds, the twins moved with precision that surprised everyone. Their footwork was sharp, their timing careful, and most importantly, they stayed composed. When pressure came, they did not panic. They adapted. Each movement was controlled, each defense deliberate. The whispers in the room faded. People leaned forward. What had started as doubt was slowly turning into respect. And for the first time, the older students realized they were not facing beginners who would break under pressure. They were facing fighters who had trained their minds as much as their body, and the match was only beginning. The tension in the air grew thicker as the rounds continued. What made the twins different was not just technique, but the way they communicated without speaking. A glance, a small shift in stance, a step taken at exactly the right moment. Years of growing up together had given them an instinctive rhythm, almost like two halves of the same strategy working in perfect balance. One of the higher belts increased the intensity, pushing forward with faster combinations, expecting to overwhelm them. For a moment, it looked like the pressure might be too much. The twins were forced backward, their feet sliding across the mat as they defended strike after strike. A few students watching began to think the outcome was inevitable, but then something changed. Instead of retreating further, the twins adjusted their timing. One redirected the attack while the other countered with speed that caught everyone off guard. It was clean, controlled, and precise, the kind of movement that only comes from hours of disciplined training. The instructor's expression shifted from concern to quiet pride. The room erupted in murmurs. The same students who had doubted them were now watching with wide eyes. The twins were not reckless, not aggressive, just focused. Every move had purpose. Every defense flowed into the next motion. They were proving something important without saying a single word. Confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room. It is about trusting the work you have already done. As the round ended, both sides stepped back and bowed. The respect in the air was different now. The earlier smirks had disappeared, replaced by thoughtful silence. Even those who had tried to intimidate them seemed to understand they had underestimated more than just skill. They had underestimated determination. But the day was not over yet. The final challenge was still ahead, and it would test not just their ability, but their spirit. By the time the last round was announced, everyone in the dojo was paying attention. What began as a normal training session had turned into a moment people would remember. The twins stood calmly, breathing steady, their focus unbroken. Across from them stood one of the most experienced students in the class, someone known for strength and speed. The signal was given, and the match began. This time, the pace was faster than anything before. The exchanges were sharp and controlled, each movement demanding complete concentration. The twins did not rush, observed, adjusted, and responded with patience. Instead of trying to overpower their opponent, they relied on timing and positioning, using the very principles their instructor had drilled into them since their first day. At one critical moment, a quick combination came toward them, fast enough that many in the room thought it would land cleanly. But the twins reacted together, shifting just enough to avoid the strikes and countering with controlled precision. It was not flashy, it was effective, and it showed something deeper than physical ability. It showed discipline under pressure. When the round ended, the entire dojo was silent for a second before applause broke out. Not loud or dramatic, but sincere, the kind of respect that cannot be demanded, only earned. The instructor stepped forward and spoke quietly, reminding everyone that martial arts is not about intimidation or pride. It is about growth, humility, and courage. The twins had demonstrated all three, not by boasting, but by standing their ground and letting their actions speak. As they left the mat, the same students who had once doubted them nodded in acknowledgement. The lesson of that day was clear to everyone watching. Strength is not measured by size, rank, or reputation. Real strength is the courage to remain calm when others expect you to be afraid, and the determination to keep moving forward, no matter who stands in front of you.